Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning into this awesome musical edition of Legends of the Opera House. I am sitting with the man, Dudley Ilse. Yay, Dudley, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much. What an honor. Thank you.
Well, you have graced our stage so many times. You have shared your talents with excellence on numerous occasions here, and we just really appreciate everything that you've done for us over the years. And so I have a really tough question for you.
Okay.
What was the first show you were in, and then what was your favorite show you were in?
That would be one and the same. My first show was Pump Boys and Dinettes.
Okay.
And that was my favorite. We had a tremendous cast. We rehearsed a lot. We rehearsed after the rehearsal a lot, and it was a really fun group of folks, and that was in the late 80s.
Late 80s?
Yeah, and that was my favorite as well. That show, that Pump Boys and Dinettes, I was in Uvalde and heard an advertisement on the radio for audition. There was a stage band, and I came to audition for the band and ended up getting a part. One of the guys, there were 3 guys and 3 girls, and I got one of the guy parts.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That's awesome.
And so then that just led to a lot of meeting a lot of folks, and I'll tell you, it kind of is what brought me to Uvalde, and then I ended up moving over here. And
Really?
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it really
I
did.
didn't know that.
Sure did.
Tell us, when did you first discover that you were really connected to music and you wanted to begin sharing your music with live audiences?
Connected to music would be way back when I was a kid, because I started playing. I acquired a set of drumsticks when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
And after beating on the kitchen table and what have you, my folks were like, we got to do something different. So then they got me a little practice pad. It's a little deal, just a countertop, you know. Then from there we went to an old wooden marching drum from the Sabinal Band Hall. And then from there, moving along.
That definitely brings up a cool point. You write a lot of your own material, and you have shared lots of those original songs on this stage at dozens of variety shows and singer-songwriter nights.
Yes.
So what led you to begin writing your own music?
I wrote for the school newspaper when I was a kid, and I had a column that was an opinion column, or it wasn't news, right? So it didn't have to be the truth, right? It didn't have to be accurate.
Right.
So I wrote some funny things, and I guess just the love of music and the love of writing, writing poems, and then just starting to write music and starting to write songs. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because you are such a good songwriter.
Well, thank you.
You have a really wonderful way of being able to capture stuff that people are going through and just communicate it to an audience. And I don't think a lot of people have that special gift. And not a lot of people are willing to share it with us as freely as you have been willing to share it.
But there's the key or do you want to really bare your soul?
Right.
And then wait for a response.
True, that's a really vulnerable place to be in.
It's a vulnerable, yeah, it is a vulnerable spot.
So can you share with us your most memorable moment here, some of your favorite memories during a live performance?
Yeah. So in Pump Boy, I go back to Pump Boys and Dinettes. There was 3 guys. It was Frank Harrison, myself, and Slade Rigby. 3 gals: Shirley Jackson, Lori Howard, and Stephanie Hale.
Okay.
And as musicals go, it's it's dialogue, and then you break into a song and you dance around and all that. I mean, so there's a scene where we break up, the girls disappear, they actually go downstairs. I go stage left with my guitar. The 3 guys, we had our guitars on us all the time. I go stage left with my guitar. Frank Harrison goes stage right, and we are in this dialogue, and it's one-liners, and so you're feeding off of your line, you're feeding off of his line, right? And so I'm sitting over there yakking at Frank, and I say my line, which is his cue for his line, and I look over there, and he just has this grin on his face, and he's kind of leaning on his guitar, and he just looks at me and it's just dead silence. And he goes, "That's right." And that was not anywhere near the line.
No.
And I just look at him and I go, "That's right." And now the audience is, you can hear this, "Oh gosh.
Oh no.
They forgot, they messed up," you know, and Frank just, and now you can hear the clock ticking.
Oh
right?
gosh. Oh.
So I was so panic stricken that I remembered his line. So I said all the rest of his lines and my lines. And in the middle of all this, Slade Rigby was supposed to come out. He had a cue in there. So he was supposed to come out. He had a crush on Dolly Parton. And so he was to come out. He had his backpack, hugging his backpack, kissing on his backpack. But he's supposed to be talking on the way out. I say his lines too. So he walks out and he just turns around, and now the audience, they're just going bananas, right? So the curtain closes and the audience, they're just laughing, and we leave, and when we go downstairs and the girls are down there and the band's down there and Jeff Troxler, director, they're like, "What in the world happened?" So anyway, it was just one of those live theater moments, you know. You couldn't recreate that for love nor money, right? But it was just hysterical. So that was, and then my other favorite was Nancy Bennett and I. We were in Murder at the Opera House.
Oh boy.
And so she was Polly Darton, and I was Port a Wagon. and so we walk out. She's all dolled up. I believe it was Patsy Marmion, I believe is who it was. Got a pair of white Dickies pants and a white jacket. Had cactus and wagon wheels, cactus roses, and it was just all this glittered up, you know, and what have you. So and lo and behold, there's a shot fired, and I get knocked off just about halfway through the song.
Oh.
So down I go, and then back in the back is I think it was Johnny Ramby, but they had an old-timey Army, you know, stretcher. So here, pop, 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 pop. Here they come, bump up on the steps, and they get me up on the stretcher, and of course we're gagging it, right? And so I've got an arm that won't. I got an arm they keep trying to put, and it falls and so forth. and then it's down the steps and up the aisle, and people poking me, and you know, flip him over and all that sort of thing. You know, it was really a lot of fun. This place is a lot of fun.
Well, that show was legendary in itself. We still get people commenting on your role in that show all the time. So why do you think it's important for young people to come and start getting involved in community theater, and for people to come and support the live arts?
I think that the more that we look at that phone and the more that we look at a computer screen, the more we should be interacting with people. And live, be it on a bandstand at a dance or wherever, opera house, you can't replace live entertainment, live music, live theater, whatever it may be. And kids, and all of us, we express ourselves, and kids, especially young people, and the opera house itself is just a work of art, and there's just not one on every corner in every small town USA. So I just think it's just tremendously important that the opera house thrive, and that it's used for all kinds of productions, and for young people to get involved, for sure.
Yeah.
Bring them to the theater and show them, you know,
how much fun it can be,
how much
right?
fun it can be.
So Dudley, what's something that you really love about performing here at the Opera House?
The acoustics. I like the sound of the hardwood floor when you walk out, and the proximity of the audience. And this is gonna, your viewers are gonna go, "Oh brother," but this is as close as I can get to the Grand Ole Opry. And so it's kind of cool to have that miniature, if you will, Grand Ole Opry. And when we did one of the song swaps and Johnny Rodriguez was the headliner, this place was packed, and it felt like that. And so it was just really cool.
That's cool.
So there you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dudley, for coming and talking to us today.
Sure.
So everyone that doesn't know Dudley, which that's a really small percentage of you guys out here in Uvalde, he has an incredible band called Dudley and the Downbeats. And so if you ever get a chance to go hear them, definitely take your dancing boots, because they are gonna play some songs that are gonna make you wanna get up and dance. But be sure you check them out on their Facebook page as well. Be sure you go follow them on Facebook. And Dudley's actually gonna share a song with us today. So we're gonna hand the mic over to Dudley.
So I picked this song to do for this interview because it was written by Clay Blaker. It's a great song. It's an older song. George Strait had it on one of his early albums. I've known the song for a long time and always thought it was about a girl, but it indeed is not about a girl. It's about the fans. And so I thought it was nice and appropriate for this interview to do it, since we're talking about theater and the fans and so forth. Some people say I'm one of those guys, blessings of life overlooked. Sometimes I feel like the tattered, torn pages of some old paperback book. But the money I've made and the places I've played still have nothing to show. And the only thing that I have left in the whole wide world is you. Put your whole life into something you love, you never get that one big break. It'll take you out of the back street and bars and put you on center stage. A million tears and a million beers just about washed me up. The only thing that I have left in the whole wide world is you. I gave it all I had every night for all those years, pouring out my soul till it was gone. And I spread myself so thin that I'm just barely hanging on. Tonight I'm with you, you'll carry me through. Just love me. And the only thing that I have left in the whole wide world is you. The only thing that I have left in the whole wide world is you.
Thank you, Dudley, so much for being here again.
Thank you.
You're definitely a legend in our book. Thank you for being part of this special musical edition of Legends of the Opera House.
Thanks for having me.